Good evening, Scotland fans, and welcome to Scotland HQ. We're live here at Hampden, and I'm your host for this evening, Lewis Irons. Thank you very much for tuning in for what is the final show of 2021, the year that Scotland HQ all began. And we've got all the reaction from that Nations League Draw and a lot more coming up on the show. Let's take a look at what we have got in store for you this evening. Yes, we do have that reaction to the UEFA Nations League Draw, and we'll have a couple of special guests in the studio. Stephen Naismith and Callum Beattie are the two men joining me here on the sofas. We'll also have the Tennent's Moment of the Year to reveal to you who has won that moment and that award. It's been a year of a lot of highs, that is for sure. But without further ado, please allow me to welcome my special guests. It's singer-songwriter Callum Beattie and Scotland coach Steve Naismith.
Good.
Hello guys.
How you doing, my man? You all
How
right?
are you?
Good to see you.
Naisy, good to see you. Well, Naisy, it feels right we have to start with you. As a member of Steve Clarke's coaching staff, we've just seen the draw. What do you make of it? Ukraine, Republic of Ireland and Armenia.
The two biggest things for me wasn't so much the actual teams, except for not getting Israel. That was the biggest positive. I think it was, and the success we've had on the back of the first time round of the Nations League was the biggest thing. We know how valuable it can be, so you've got to be happy with the draw. I think there's teams, like everything, there's a connection. So we've got Ukraine in March, then you'll feel them again quite quickly afterwards. So, but we're in a good place. We're in a very good place, so we don't fear anybody.
Absolutely not. And if you're hearing that from the coaching staff as a fan, Callum, how does that feel?
It's very encouraging. I remember I was in London once and I bumped into Gordon Strachan and we just drew away to Georgia and asked him if we had a chance of qualifying. He says, no chance. We still had 2 games to go, so I appreciate that.
But talk to me from that fan's perspective. Obviously, Naisy touched on the experience that the Nations League's given us. It got us, obviously, it played a big part in getting us to the Euros, so it's a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely. I mean, Ukraine will be a tough draw. I think they're no pushovers, but I think we're twice the team Ireland are, and so I think we'll be all right.
Aye, I think we'll be all right. Well, Stephen, just want to talk to you. You talked about how we've got a connection. Obviously, Ukraine, Republic of Ireland, you've got a bit of a connection, a fond memory of playing against them? Yeah,
the 2 games we played in the group campaigns that we played, the memorable night at Celtic Park with a great corner routine that got us the win, which I think with that fixture, no matter whether there's injuries or the form of each team, with it being the country's been so close together, brings that extra wee dynamic to it, and there's a lot of players playing the English leagues, the Scottish leagues that will come up against each other, so it definitely brings that wee edge to that game, and it'll one I'm sure the fans will look forward to. Yeah,
it's an edge that you can see on the pitch, can't you, when the teams go up against each other, Callum, but in the stands as fans, that edge when you go up against another nation fairly close by, it's always nice.
Aye, that's it, Celtic cousins, so I think we'd like both of us to do well, you know, so hopefully we can get to a stage where we're playing them at the end and the results don't really matter, you know. So that would be a good plan.
Yeah, it certainly would. Naisy, I just want to talk to you. Obviously, you're in a position where you're going into coaching now. You're obviously part of the backroom staff with Steve Clarke. What's he been saying, and have you spoke to him already in the quick time that you had between
From the draw? No, not really. But the manager is, as everybody sees him, he's calm. He's very calm, collected, and he sees the bigger picture. And the progression from when he came in to now, I first experienced it as a player. The message is consistent, and each hurdle you get over brings that bit more confidence, and we've seen that in the period he's been in, the progression from being a team that probably didn't look forward to getting into games and were concerned about the teams we were playing. We now have a structure and a system that suits the players. Our players are now gone from potential players to being top players at club level, and we played really good football and we're coming away and we're reaping the rewards of it. So I think for everybody involved, it's a case of that progression, keep going. We've got obviously March to think about first, but the draw, we'll look forward to that come the summer.
Can you compare the atmosphere amongst the squad and the group now to some of the squads that you were a part of, and what you can compare and contrast, I guess?
Definitely. I think making the Euros was a massive step. It was one that gets the players that real belief. The manager saying it constantly from the moment he came in and saying we are not far away, when just small tweaks and things like that, to then get to the Euros tournament, as much as it wasn't what it should have been in terms of fans and stuff like that. To then have the chance now to go back into the playoffs and get to another tournament is massive. But it also brings that belief, and I think in a lot of the positive moments over the last year, you can see that the players understand what the manager wants.
Yeah. Just looking over the past year, we've briefly touched on obviously the Euros and being a part of that. From your side as a fan, how was the last year been? And obviously your music, we've barely even touched on that. Callum. How's the last year been?
I think it's just really good to have something to smile about again, especially being a Scotland fan. It's not been easy for, 22 years or something. But it's really good. I think we've got a really strong team. I don't really think we fear anybody really when they come to Hampden especially. So it's good to see them playing so well together. And I think even having players like Che Adams up front and stuff, you do feel like you will get a goal with somewhere, whereas before, no offence, Stephen, obviously.
I was going to make you
I was wondering where you were going there.
Well, I'll blame it on Levine, actually. He never played a striker at all, so. But, so, you know, I do feel like more confident. Sorry,
it's nice having a striker on the pitch. I don't want to be the one asking all these questions. Is there any questions you want to throw the easiest way about Scotland memories?
I guess I asked them, when was the last time your last goal for Scotland?
My last goal was my last game, which was nice. With just 51 caps, and it was against Kazakhstan here, so it was good. One goal. I never really measured my game on goals or anything, but to finish on double figures was nice for me. That was something. 51 caps, had 10 goals, which
it's good.
I never really thought I would get that many international caps, never mind goals. So looking back, it's a nice way to finish.
I know you wouldn't have known at the time it would have been necessarily your last game or not, but were you thinking about that double-figure goal tally at any point? Was it in your mind a little bit?
Probably more so just when I got to 8 and 9, and then when you're a forward player at international level, there's certain games you go into and you think this is an opportunity.
This is it.
I think you see the fixtures. We played Gibraltar, beat them 5-0, 5-0, and you think that's a chance as a forward. You're going to get chances, you need to take them. So in their games, you start thinking, oh, I've got a chance, but. I remember my first goal against Spain, amazing moment when they were at the height of football, and then laterally I scored against Portugal in a friendly here, which was a nice one. But
what was it like playing against those sort of defenders like the Spanish?
Tiring.
Not got the ball.
I definitely turned into a defender in their games, but the game we get beat here for Spain is probably the most tired, like mentally after a game you ever, because they had so many rotations and movements and they pulled you all over the park, and you knew that from before the game. But so you see the pictures and the video and the meetings beforehand, but you're so drained after it. You're physically drained and mentally drained. But great experience. We get beat by a long ball that night. Never mind getting cut open. So unfortunate.
It's nice to look back and think about it. But let's just remind ourselves of the draw for anyone that's just tuning in, who we have been drawn against in the Nations League group. Yes, Ukraine, Republic of Ireland and Armenia. And I guess looking forward, we've got a bit of time now. Obviously there's not much international football, but the next one that we've got, Ukraine, they're going to be a team that we're wanting to get a result against in that playoff. That's the big one that we'll be focusing on before we look at the Nations League, isn't it, Nazy?
Definitely, it's the next game coming up, and I think it is a big game because it's. I think what suits us is the one-off games. We've showed the previous kind of playoff games that you're never out it. You might go through periods in the game you need to defend and you need to suffer when you've not got the ball, but when you get your chances you've got to take them, and we've been good at that. Faroe Islands away is a prime example. Wasn't the best performance, we had to be solid and make sure we never gave up chances, but then we get the chance and we take it.
Why do you think, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, see when we're playing the big teams, right, we always perform well, 9 times out of 10, and we always actually look like we're going to nick it, you know. Why is it always these teams like away to the Faroe Islands, like playing postman and stuff like that?
When you make it sound like that, it makes it sound easy, but it's not. See, nowadays in football, the biggest change from when I started is organisation. Every team's organised, every team's fit and every team's organised, so it makes it hard. But people look at the result and the performance and think it's poor, but when they played Denmark didn't score till late on in the game, and the games against Austria and Denmark, the Faroes had at least 4 or 5 great chances, kind of like what they had against us in their games as well. So it's not as if it was just our bad performance. They're a well organised team, and they do have people that can cause you problems. But in the games, the biggest thing's definitely the result, and we've seen
That's
that.
all that matters.
As Dykes' goal goes in, it's such a big moment in our campaign.
Certainly is. And there's been a lot of very big moments in this past year. Yes, Tennent's Moment of the Year award, we can reveal the winner, but before that, let's remind ourselves of the nominees that we've seen from the past year.
Will it happen here for Scotland? It's John McGinn to float it in!
Yes! It's
in! By Scott McTominay! This is big! This is huge! This is massive! This is Scotland 3, Israel 2, and this is the Scotland way! You just have to go with it!
What a goal! What a goal!
Here comes Ratzer. But Craig Gordon saves it. Ratzer on the follow-up. And it's foiled. And Scotland hang on to their 2-0 lead. And Craig Gordon tonight has done his bit for his country.
Wow, some incredible moments in there. Late winners, debut goals, limbs everywhere. What a year it's been. And without further ado, we can now reveal the winner of the Moment of the Year. Is Scott McTominay's winner against Israel. And Scott McTominay joins us on the line now. There he is. Well done, Scott.
How are you? Thank you very much.
Hello, mate. Thank you for joining us. And first of all, congratulations on winning that Moment of the Year. Well deserved. And seeing it back, how does it feel watching it again?
Yeah, obviously, first and foremost, thank you very much to everybody who voted. It's obviously a real pleasure of mine to play for Scotland. I absolutely love it. And obviously, a moment like that is, for your first goal for Scotland, is something that I'll most definitely never forget. Yeah, just so pleased, and obviously thankful for everybody who voted as well.
And it doesn't matter how it goes in, does it, mate? Particularly not in those circumstances. What a moment.
Yeah, we was actually working on set pieces that week. We did a lot with the coaches and obviously the manager, and it's nice to see a couple. One against Denmark as well went in, and obviously myself as well. So yeah, it's good to see the work that we're doing is coming off, and we're always improving as a team. We're always wanting to get better. So, but yeah, obviously for that moment with the fans and the way they reacted, I haven't seen an atmosphere like that for a long time.
What did the manager and the coaches, Nazy, obviously here, what were they giving it at full time? That must have been a special atmosphere.
Yeah, obviously it's more for the group once we got back in the change room after. It's more that feeling of really we're going places and we can all feel as a group that everybody's pushing in the right direction. And when you get a group of guys who are pushing for every single game and looking forward to every single game, like Nazy said before, it's powerful. And obviously for us, we've got to take that into the games next against Ukraine and obviously the Nations League as well. So no, positivity is key, and I feel like we've got that at the moment in Scotland.
Yeah, we certainly do. As you were just talking about it, but that kind of moment encapsulates so much of what we're about, particularly in this year. That was such a high moment, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was a full house. We got the group into a position where it was a sellout, and my biggest memory just before that was, we're going to win this. Yeah. I think as the game was going, John McGinn runs forward, he's absolutely burst, gets the corner, and then just for that moment you just feel confident. And he puts a great ball in. Scotty, like he says, works on it. It's not luck, it's not anything other than hard work, and the boys deserved it, and just another great moment.
Yeah, there was belief, wasn't there, Scotty? Like that moment, like you said, it was drilled, it was worked on, and the belief came through.
Yeah, of course, that's part and parcel of the game of football. We all know that by whatever you do behind closed doors as a team and in individuals, it pays off. Hard work always beats talent, and that's the phrase that the whole team will stand by throughout the whole careers, and that's why I feel like we're getting a really good group now. When we come together, it's always positivity and it's always pushing forward. And as I said, Nazy, before, it's looking forward to games. It's not like worried about playing games. It's us now going and expressing ourselves. And first and foremost, I feel like that comes from the manager. He's been absolutely terrific.
Yeah, Callum, how much did you celebrate that goal? Were you at the game?
I wasn't at the game, but I was actually abroad. I was in Hungary. Yeah. And I think it was the only Scottish person in the whole city. But they definitely all heard me, that was for sure.
They certainly did. Scott, while we've got you, just want to get a bit of a reaction from you from the Nations League Draw. Obviously, we've just found out Ukraine, Republic of Ireland and Armenia in our group. You won't be thinking about the Nations League, you'll be fully focusing on obviously club level, but then a big game against Ukraine in the playoffs in March.
Yeah, of course, it's we're getting towards playing different teams now, so no Israel, which is a little bit different for us to what we're used to. So maybe Ukraine might be that team, but no, as I say, whoever we play against now, we're more or less looking forward to it. Obviously, there's a big game in, I think it's March time against Ukraine, and then we'll see them again for the Nations League. So yeah, obviously big rivalry with the Republic of Ireland. So for us, it's a chance to really stamp our authority on that group, and obviously we're just looking to keep picking up points and doing really well as well.
Yeah, you touch on that rivalry and that sort of heated atmosphere, and Nazy was talking about it as well. That'll be a special atmosphere for the fans, won't it, as well, but for you players, a game to really look forward to.
Yeah, of course, 100%. The atmosphere when we play them at Hampden will be amazing, and obviously likewise with the other teams it'll be electric, because I feel like the people can see now that we're doing good things, we're working hard and we're wanting to do all the right things. So yeah, as I say, stick with us and we're doing our best all the time, don't worry.
Yeah, well, just to wrap up, Callum, your moment of the year winner there, but were there any other moments that stood out for you amongst the nominees that you enjoyed there?
I think all the goals that day against Israel, it's such an important game, and I think McGinn scoring as well. I can't remember who the other guy scored, but Dykes was it? Aye. Again, he offers something a bit different up front, a bit of height and presence. So I don't know, it's just really exciting to going forward. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us, mate. We really appreciate your time, and once again, congratulations, our Moment of the Year winner, Scott McTominay. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And now it's time for something a little bit different on Scotland HQ. Callum, we're about to put you on the spot, mate. We're going to start getting festive, seeing it as coming up to Christmas. We're going to head over to our Christmas wrapping station. So basically what we've got in store is we've got a couple of Christmas presents up here, Callum. Bunch of wrapping paper, scissors, sellotape, and you've got 45 seconds to wrap up
45, right.
45, just see how many you can get through, right? But while you're doing it, I'm going to put you on the spot with a few quick fire questions as well.
All right. Ready
okay, so they're all here, ready to go. And when the clock starts, we'll get you going. Ready?
Aye.
So let's start the clock. And we are off. Right. Name 3 items of clothing a Scotland fan wears at a match.
Scotland top, a kilt and a tartan scarf.
Would you rather score a last-minute winner at Hampden or have a UK top 40 single?
The first one.
First gig you ever played?
It was Shetland with Katie Tunstall.
Oh, wow. Biggest musical inspiration?
The Beatles.
The Beatles, nice. Favourite Scotland player of all time?
Ali McCoist.
Oh, I thought you were going to go for Nazy. Favourite Scotland player right now? Robertson. Get a ribbon on that. You've got 10 seconds. Get a ribbon on it. And would you rather play at Hampden or play at the Hydro?
The Hydro.
3, 2, 1, and your time is up. Give it up for Calm. Good effort, mate.
Who's getting this, by the way?
You can decide. Who do you want to give it to?
That'll be yours, mate.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Oh, there we go. Let's take a seat, mate. Give it up for Calm one more time, everybody. Appreciate that gift, mate. But we do have a better gift, don't we? You've actually kindly given up 2 tickets to your gig, but we do have a bit of news. Obviously, it was supposed to be tomorrow night, supporting Amy McDonald at the Hydro.
Aye.
And you've got a bit of news on that front.
It's been rescheduled till March, obviously, because of the restrictions and stuff, and just making sure everyone's safe. So I'm giving away 2 VIP tickets. You get to come and meet me and stuff, and if you ever want to meet someone like me, but I do again.
2 VIP tickets at the Hydro, and you get to meet Callum as well. And all you have to do to enter is answer the following question: who scored the last-minute winner against Israel in our 3-2 win earlier this year? Spoiler alert, he was just on the show. And if you want to get involved with that, tweet us the answer with the hashtag ScotlandHQ to get involved, and you could be in with a chance of that. And that's a kind gesture, mate, and a lot kinder than this, I have to say. So I appreciate that. But just to wrap up, Nazy, yes, the year's coming to an end, a big 2022 ahead. How eager are you to look forward to these games coming up in next year for the national team?
Yeah, in the national side of it, this is always the hard part, where you've got such a big layoff. It's, the intensity of the last few months is brilliant. Every day you see it on the pitch, and then the big layoff, obviously you've got the club side of it, but when you come into March, it's fully focused on what is massive games that are going to kind of give us the indication of whether we're going to the World Cup or not.
Yeah, and just finally from you, Callum, obviously tomorrow night, it's a shame that it's not happening, but a lot coming up for you as well as we head into the new year.
Absolutely, I'll have my second album will be coming out next year, so I'm recording and writing that at the minute. It sounds pretty good, so I'm fairly happy. Aye.
Great, right. Well, guys, we really appreciate your time. Callum B, Stephen Naismith, thank you so much for joining me, and to you for watching at home as well. We've found out who we're playing in the Nations League. We've got a big year coming up as well, and when it comes, have a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us.